Hi all, so I just watched season 3 episode 7 of The Mandalorian titled The Spies, and wow, easily the best of the season so far. It's too bad considering it took 6 episodes for us to get to this point. I mean, there was a lot of filler, there was a lot of attention paid to events we did not really need to see, but Disney is getting Filoni and Favreau to bridge the gap between episode 6 slash and very end of Rebels epilogue and The Force Awakens, so there is a lot to tell here. Now, that being said, what we got in season 3, episode 7 was brilliant. And if these threads continue through the next episode and into Ahsoka, we could have a Bojack season 3 on our hands with The Mandalorian here. I did like season 3, episode 2, but it seems like people didn't really like that one. I thought it helped develop the New Republic, and it felt like it was preparing us for the return of Moff Gideon, whose minions defected and were reformed. To be honest, anything to do with Coruscant, the city planet that ties the galaxy together, I'm interested in. I love that planet, and I love all these connections between the different Star Wars media. I know Filoni is infamous for it, but the fan service and connections are what is going to be crucial to this chapter between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens, which is, I'm pretty sure, like a sizable 30 or 40-year gap. Have to check that, but Luke and his Jedi Temple have already been weaved in. We got Ahsoka about to run away with her own show. With the Bad Batch, we got the cloning continuation and Zillo Beast return. Mando Season 3, Episode 2 continued to ponder cloning post Return of the Jedi. And here in Season 3, Episode 7, we get the attempted retaking of Mandalore. The Mind Flayer torturer from Coruscant gets wind of this and warns none other than Moff Gideon, who makes his glorious return after it was revealed he escaped from his prison transport earlier in the season. Moff Gideon is part of a council of post-imperial warlords scheming together in secret with hopes of building back the Empire as they await the return of their leader, Grand Admiral Thrawn. Thrawn, of course, disappeared on a ship into hyperspace with Ezra at the end of Rebels. After Ahsoka's appearance in Mando seemed to cement Clone Wars as canon, it seems to have been rumored for a while now that Rebels characters were going to return in Ahsoka. Then we got the Zeb cameo this season in Mando, and I lost my mind. But back to the episode, the two tribes of Mandalorians unite before encountering yet another tribe. This tribe survived on the planet after the bombings. The three tribes unite on the surface of Mandalore while transport led by the Armorer is flown back to the fleet orbiting the planet. There's a bunch of intense shots of the Armorer returning to orbit that made my dad and I think Moff Gideon was going to bomb the fleet. However, the Mandalorians on the surface arrive at the Great Furnace, but they're attacked by Moff Gideon's troopers. They wipe them out pretty easy and chase down the retreating ones. Oh yeah, and Grogu is now piloting IG-11 using his body as a mech. I love this decision. It makes sense for the production so they can get Grogu in the shots easier, but it also is so cool to have a Force-sensitive Mandalorian piloting a droid mech. Awesome. So Grogu is running in this droid mech with the Mandalorians chasing down the last of Gideon's troopers when they reach what appears to be a hangar bay built in a cliff cavern, and it really throws them off. They're like, what's going on here? The Mandalorians are taken aback, and of course, they walked right into a trap. The door slams shut. Moff Gideon shows up in an emo Mando suit with a jetpack and restrains Mando. And I'm probably just dumb, but for a second I thought, with like Mando isolated and outnumbered, I thought they might kill him in front of Grogu, but no, they didn't end up doing that. But no, Moff Gideon reveals that Mandalore has been his base of operations as he built new trooper suits from Beskar on the planet to start a new order, possibly First Order, as he advances his cloning technology and rebirths the Empire. Gideon tells his troopers to take Mando away to be interrogated and tells the rest to kill the trapped Mandalorians. Grogu is in there though, so they can't all die. Bo-Katan slices a hole in the back door with the dark saber as, I don't know what his name is, but big Mandalorian, big guy, and the rest lay covering fire as the front doors open. One by one, they escape through the back until it's just the big guy and Bo, but big guy forces the door closed so he can hold off the last of the troopers so Bo can escape. Bo leaves, not letting his sacrifice be in vain, but the big guy managed to defeat all the troopers. Does he succeed? Well, not quite. Red Imperial Guards, I think maybe that's what they're called. I'm probably getting this wrong. But I think they're the ones from the scene in The Last Jedi with Rey and Kylo in the throne room scene. I think that's what these guys were, but I'm not 100% sure. But whatever they were, 3 of these red guys proceed to brutally stab Big Guy to death. It's pretty intense, but the episode ends with Moff Gideon on his way to destroy the fleet orbiting Mandalore as the survivors with Grogu and Bo scramble on the surface, and Din is taken prisoner. What a way to end things off. And I can't help but wonder if they keep Battlefront 2 and the Jedi games canon, how will the clues dropped in those, like Operation Cinder in Battlefront 2, and whoever the protagonist was meeting with Luke, can't remember her name from Battlefront 2, how will this all fit together in this kind of bold vision that's being paved? Last episode was a cannon hole filled mess until Bo defended the Darksaber. Like, how did it get past so many people and into the final show that there is a technology somewhere in the Star Wars galaxy that allows anyone to take over any ship within a certain range? How is this included in a show that is getting more views than anything else Star Wars right now? Like, who doesn't know Baby Yoda? The Mandalorian is a cultural phenomenon, but an interesting one because it's building off so much canon that came before, and the creator had a hand in shaping. Bad Batch and The Mandalorian have been a bit bare bones this year, but the parts that have been good have been more accurately amazing. They just didn't have enough to pad it out. Cut Bad Batch at least in half, and Mando at most 5, maybe 4 episodes. But if they stick this landing, which the seeds have definitely been planted for, I would be quite impressed. But yeah, The Spies. One of the Mandalorian great episodes. Can't wait to see what next week's finale has in store. Doom Grips out.